Well, hello everyone. It's Angela with Mystic Moon, bringing you guys your Divine Masculine weekly forecast. So I was unable to get it out to you guys yesterday. I apologize, but I'm bringing it here to you guys today. So I'll be posting once over here on Mystic Moon, and then I'll be posting the weekly forecast, just a general reading, over on my second channel called Treasure Trove Tarot. So be on the lookout for that. So anyways, you guys, I do tend to channel for those that are experiencing challenges or separations in their connection. So please keep that in mind, and obviously just take what resonates for you. I do say he or him for masculine and she or her for the feminine. It's just the way that I channel, so just obviously apply it how it resonates for your exact situation. All the decks I'll be using here today are actually created by myself. I will put the links down below where you guys can get them. And today's Organite is called the Air Element, even though this is for all signs, all elements, but it's the Air Element Divine Masculine Nude created by Michelle from Wing and Bell. So let's go ahead and get started, you guys. Let's see what we need to know today. All right, let me go ahead and just put up this incense real quick. That way it doesn't continue to smoke. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at where is the Divine Masculine this week on his Ascension journey, okay? Just in general, where is this masculine? So obviously we're going to use this deck here. This is called my Divine Masculine Tarot and Ascension Journey. An excellent deck with messages is where your masculine might be at just in general, or with you, Divine Feminine. All right, let's see what we need to know. What is the energy surrounding this masculine with where he is at right now on his Ascension journey? Where is he at? What are the circumstances? Where is this masculine currently at? Okay. Let's take a look at the mental space. What is the masculine right now? Where is he at in his headspace on the journey? Ooh, we have 9 of Cups. No one can satisfy me like you can. So if you guys are experiencing a challenge or a separation, this is an indication to me that at the end of the day, no matter where the masculine is at, no matter, who he is spending time with, if anybody at all, it doesn't really matter. No one's going to be able to satisfy him or connect with him on such a deep level like you can, Divine Feminine. So that's one thing that maybe you just need to know today. So let's go ahead and get some more details. We're going to go into my Earth and Sky Oracle. What else do we need to understand about what's going on with this masculine on his mental headspace on this Ascension journey currently? What's going on? Oh, we have Praying Mantis. So it does say taking a time out, meditation and peace, higher realm energy, life purpose and mission. So this masculine right now could be taking a time out from the feminine. So there could be a separation. There could just be, I just need some time in space on my own. The 9 of Cups is also one of those cards, though, that can be singular, meaning that I am trying to find my own 9 of Cups. I'm trying to figure out what makes me happy, so that no one can satisfy me like you can. If you think about it, it is actually a statement to the self. If you can't satisfy yourself, then no one else is really going to be able to truly satisfy you. And if they do, it will be short-lived, because then you'll be looking for the next thing once it burns out. But when you can learn how to satisfy your own needs and be there for yourself and to provide happiness for yourself, it's amazing how you don't attach to other people for that. And the things that do make you happy, it does last, because it's not just quick and it's not surface level. It's actually real depth there. Okay. So this right here is my Twin Flame Journey Oracle. Let's see what else is going on with this masculine's mental space right now on the journey. We have signs. So you can see here that these are pointing in all different directions. Right now, it might be that the masculine is trying to currently figure out what he wants to do with his life. It does say life purpose and mission, higher realm energy. So in a way, it's like connecting with the higher self that's pointing in a direction of where this masculine feels like he is meant to go. So right now, that could be why he is taking a time out. It could be why he needs some space right now, is because he's trying to satisfy his own needs. I'm not getting that it's coming from a selfish place. I'm actually getting it's coming from a peaceful, spiritual place. So that's a positive. So that's where the masculine is at mentally. Where is he at in his emotions? Where's the masculine at on his Ascension journey in the heart space? Okay, so we have the 3 of Swords. Something is in the way. So that makes sense to me. If something is in the way, which could be, I don't know how to make myself happy. I don't really know who I am in the world. I don't know what I want. The Three of Swords can be that wedge. It could be something that's weighing on this masculine's heart that he feels like he needs to provide for himself. He needs to, maybe heal something or fix something within. That's not a bad thing. We have the flamingo's energy. I feel like this masculine might have a strange way of putting that out there right now. Maybe he feels like he needs to be around a bunch of different people. Maybe he feels like he needs to spend more time with his family and friends, or socializing, or getting to know other people. So like I said, that might be kind of strange for the feminine, because on one hand, he might be saying, I need time on my own, but yet he's spending time with other people. I feel like this masculine is just trying to figure out who he is. And it might be that he feels like he can't do that one-on-one. He might feel like he needs to keep his options open. And that might be very triggering for the feminine. And it might seem very selfish, or it might even seem false to the feminine. And I'm not here on the masculine side in his defense saying, well, he's just trying to find himself, because obviously people go about things in different ways, and sometimes that can be hurtful to other people. So, at the end of the day, divine feminine, you got to do what's right for you. So if this behavior is hurting you or it's bothering you, you have a duty to yourself to also find your Nine of Cups and to take care of you and provide your own happiness. And so sometimes our masculines can be a mirror to the things that we actually need to work on. But the flamingo says stature and grace, vibrant and outgoing, social atmospheres, and connectedness. So that's why I'm saying here, there could be something in the atmosphere, or there could be something where the masculine is feeling like he needs to either, I hate to say this, get something out of his system that doesn't make it okay, or he just needs to explore. That's what he needs to do to figure out who he is. If somebody doesn't want to settle down, or if somebody doesn't feel or know that you're the one for them, then there's no reason to force that. You've got to let people go to figure it out. And that doesn't mean that, you just let them do what they want to do and then you'll be waiting there when they return. It's not that kind of an energy. But ultimately, if we do love something, we need to set it free. We need to let it go. And we also need to show ourselves that same grace. You see? So that's interesting energy coming through this week in the heart space for the masculine. Now, some of you guys, this could just be your own masculine side that is feeling like maybe you need to figure out who you are. Maybe you need to put yourself out there and be more in a social atmosphere and connect with other people. Maybe you've spent the majority of your journey only focusing on this masculine. Maybe something's changing right now. We have recognition. Yeah, people need to recognize things on your own, you guys. We can't tell them. You can't tell someone something. They have to figure it out for themselves. And that's just what I feel is going on here for this masculine. He has to recognize something within. Now, the thing is, this is another way that this works too. Sometimes people have to lose you in order to figure out what they truly had. Sometimes you don't know what you have until it's gone. Sometimes you don't really appreciate something until you no longer have it in front of you. So sometimes that's how we learn and we understand what's important to us. Sometimes people just don't know what they've got until it's gone. And I'm not trying to suggest that we play games in this situation, but if you guys are up in this person's face and trying to tell them, who you are, or trying to remind them how special of a connection that you guys have, if they don't understand that and can't see that on their own, they're going to have to figure it out for themselves, So if there is some kind of a situation here where someone is pulling away, as in the masculine is pulling away from the feminine, I am getting here, whatever's in the way, let them figure it out. But that does not mean that you have to disrespect yourself and be there waiting like a patient, good little feminine until he figures it out. You have a life to live as well. You owe it to yourself to be happy and to figure out who you are too on your journey. So that's also something that we need to recognize. Sometimes we recognize what maybe we're missing out on and what maybe we're doing with the person that is mirroring something to us or even triggering this response in us. So if you're pissed off and you're irritated that your masculine is living his life and you're not feminine, right there, that is a mirror up in your face, loud and clear, that you need to start being more authentic to yourself and living a more authentic life. Because anything that we pour all of our time and energy and put all of our eggs into someone else's basket, we're usually not going to feel satisfied in the very end, because it's only natural that people at the end of the day do what works for them. And so if you're only going to do what works for someone else, you're naturally going to feel slighted. You're naturally going to feel deceived. You're naturally going to feel broken when that person does not oblige with every single thing, that makes you feel happy. So yeah, there's something that's going on, I feel, this week. Both masculine and feminine might be recognizing that something is in the way or something is missing right now within themselves. And so you could be triggering each other this week in order to figure out what the hell that is. Interesting stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 3D world right now. What is the energy here of the 3D world? Okay, that makes sense to me. We have the Page of Wands, you guys, and it says wanting to explore. So I feel like this is being confirmed. So if this doesn't seem like it's your connection this week, it just means I'm not tapped in, and that's totally fine. Maybe I'll tap into your connection next week. But this week's connection is for people that are probably either on a little bit of a break, or they're starting to feel maybe a little anxiety about this break. Like, what does this mean? Does this mean this person isn't interested in me? Sometimes, yes, that's what it means. Unfortunately, it's ugly, it's not pretty, it doesn't feel good, but sometimes people, with the way that they're treating you and the way that they're acting, means that they're either A, just not interested, or B, it's just not that important to them. But sometimes we have to feel these things in order to wake up and say, hey, you know what? I'm worth more than this. Or I'm not going to put all of my energy and time and all of my happiness into someone that doesn't feel the same right now. Maybe they will eventually, maybe they won't. But right now, I'm going to keep my options open, and I'm going to explore too. So I feel like the masculine is actually a mirror for the feminine this week, or is triggering the feminine in order to explore maybe just, options. And I'm not talking about other people per se, unless you're feeling that. But I'm getting here to explore yourself, to experience your life on your own, to figure out what makes you happy. What is your 9 of Cups? What does it for you, feminine? Very interesting the way it's coming through this week. So let's go ahead and get some more. We have the Ox, cautious and steady, patient and methodical, traditional and conservative, but we also have poor communication skills. So I kind of like this because it does have some upsides to this creature, but also some downsides. Sometimes when we play it too cautious or steady, because, we might stay with someone because we've known them for a long time. We're comfortable with them. We don't want to have to start all over and take a risk on new people or new things. And sometimes that pays off, and other times it doesn't, you guys. We also have patient and methodical. Sometimes that could be a methodical move. I'm just going to be patient. I'm just going to hang in there. But let's just say, for instance, because you are dealing with the free will of another person, that person does not choose you, or they don't want to do the things that you want to do, and you put your life on hold, and then you're pissed off 2 years down the line when nothing has changed and things are still the same. If you want a traditional and conservative, like more of like an approach of a relationship that is commitment, that's going to lead to marriage and children and things like that, let's just say that's your thing. But your masculine doesn't want that. That's also things that you need to touch base with yourself and say, am I making an investment in someone where there really is not a future? I'm going to have to go without the things that I really truly value in order to be with this person. It gives us an opportunity to take a look at ourselves and say, why am I willing to settle? Or why am I willing to change my needs for this person? What does that say about me? And then we have poor communication skills. Are we lying to ourselves? Are we lying to our masculine? Is this masculine lying to us because he can't admit, or he can't be honest because he knows it's going to hurt you, to basically tell you that he just wants to explore his options? So he's trying to say it in a nice way, in a roundabout way, but he's not being 100% truthful and honest. So there's something for everyone to learn, I feel, with what's going on right now in their environment. So whatever's going on, whatever seems to be maybe chaotic, I'm getting that we should take this as an opportunity to learn something here about ourselves. And sometimes we learn a lot about ourselves through other situations. So let's not be so scared to let this masculine embrace another situation, or us embrace other situations, because there could be some sort of learning there. Let's not be so afraid of that. because we can't control everything. We just can't. And the more that you try to control someone, the more it's just going to end up blowing up in your face. Now we have dark night of the soul. It's somebody's got to get to this point. Somebody is afraid. There's a lot of fear here. There's a lot of ego. Somebody needs to go into the shadow aspects of themselves. And I'm getting here that this just isn't being embarked on. There is, someone in the connection. And it's interesting because I really wanted to focus on the masculine, but I feel like so much is tied to the feminine here. But I feel like someone needs to go into their dark night of the soul. And of course, we're looking at the environment here. And I feel like this road to the dark night of the soul is going to be embarked on through some outside interference. So this is necessary. This is not something to be upset about. It's not something to feel like you're cursed. It's actually a blessing in disguise, you guys. So I feel like if you're having a real difficult time with something connected to the masculine, whether it's his parents, his family, his friends, an ex, a current love, whatever the deal is, let it work itself out, because this is where it is leading. And this dark night of the soul needs to be embarked on for ascension purposes. It absolutely has to happen. You have to let it happen. You can't control it. So I don't know what that means this week for someone, but that's what we have. So let's go ahead and get this soul energy here for the masculine. What is the soul energy here for this masculine? Okay, we do have the Five of Pentacles. Interesting. So I feel like there's a lot of energy that has come up. Yeah, that Nine of Cups is like, no one's going to be able to satisfy me the way that you can. But unless I can compare you to other people or other experiences, I'm not going to understand that or get that. That's why sometimes it's necessary, you guys. It is necessary. It just is. And then we also have this something is in the way. And then now we have this wanting to explore and shutting you out, Five of Pentacles. So there's a lot of this energy this week for these masculines that might need to get something figured out, and you need to allow it to happen. Again, I need to stress, when I say those statements, I am not saying this. I am not saying, feminine, be patient, let your masculine do whatever he wants to do, and then just be waiting for him when he returns. I'm actually not about that at all. I'm about you living your life to your fullest potential, and you also exploring who you are, feminine. Absolutely suggest that for anyone that watches any of my content. So I just want to put that out there. But Five of Pentacles, just as a whole, is an energy where we do feel out of sorts. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why this card was one of the first ones to show itself, with where the masculine is at with what he's thinking. He needs to take a time out. He needs to find his inner peace. He needs to find his center. He needs to find his purpose in the world. And maybe some of them don't feel connected to that. So, and unfortunately, what they're going to do is they're going to shut things out outside of themselves. Might be you, feminine. Maybe you are, I don't know. There could be a couple of things going on. Maybe you're inspiring him or triggering him to do something amazing. Maybe he doesn't feel ready for that. Maybe he's got a lot of wounds, a lot of trauma, a lot of things he needs to heal, so that he doesn't want to do that work. So therefore, you're out. He's going to shut you out because you're a reminder of all these things that he could be. So he doesn't want to feel like a fucking failure, so it's easier to shut you out, you see? Or it could just be, I don't know how to let you in, so instead of feeling like crap about it, I'm just going to shut you out. It's just easier to shut down. So on a soul level, this masculine does have to go into the dark night of the soul, you guys. That just absolutely has to happen. And it came up in his environment, which means that there could be certain things in his environment right now that are happening for ascension purposes. Let it happen. Let it happen, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and see what else is connected to this. I love this because what it's going to do is we go from that dark energy to that light energy of spring. New beginnings, fertility and creation, warmth and renewal, joy and happiness. Fantastic. There's going to be a growth that happens here. So there's some sort of soul growth and development that's currently taking place right now for the masculine on a soul level, but it's coming through shadow work. It's coming through shadow work at this time. So let it happen. And don't take it personally. Yeah, we have guide. This is beautiful. The higher self is the guide. Connection to spirit is the guide. There could just be specific spirit guides that are working with this masculine, helping him to grow, helping him to basically go towards the light. Because I feel like for some of them, they might be lost in darkness right now. But we know that the only way out of that is by following that light, following the voice in our heads that tell us, you know what? You know that you need to do the work. You know that you need to do the right thing. You know that you need to heal. The darkness just says, keep staying lost. Keep shutting everyone out. Keep wallowing in the pits. Keep continuing to do things that you know are destroying you. That's the darkness. The light is trying to pull the masculine out of this dark night, but he has to go through it in order to learn something here. So that's what's going on right now. So if that's your energy this week, you guys, you're in the right place. If it's not, it's totally fine. Maybe I'll connect next week for you. So what is he currently struggling with when it comes to this connection with the feminine? We already know that there is a struggle. So let's take it a step further. We're going to go into my Divine Feminine Healing deck here. What currently is the struggle right now when it comes specifically to this feminine? What's the trigger? What's the struggle here? I feel like this is absolutely something that already came through. It was what I was channeling earlier when I said that there's something about this feminine that inspires and wakes this masculine to want to be a better version of himself. That's not comfortable for him. It's not a comfortable space for him. So it says co-creating to bring my goals to fruition. This right here is hard for the masculine because it might be that him and the feminine share the same dream. They may both want, and I'm just throwing examples out there, both may want a family or to get married or to, have a business together and all these wonderful things. They may have talked about these things, but when it comes to actually doing them, there's some kind of hangups that the masculine has. And so until he clears these things up, he's not going to be comfortable feeling like a failure in front of the feminine, which might be why he wants to shut her out and doesn't either want to speak to her or see her right now. That could be it. It's just I'm using this term, it's a trauma response. That's exactly what it is. Okay. The masculine also does not want the feminine to wait on him because it puts pressure on him. It makes him feel a lot of guilt. I feel like the masculine feels a lot of guilt and he feels a lot of shame and he feels like he is disappointing the feminine. So some of you guys are actually being shut out or even ghosted. You could even be blocked right now because this masculine, you are a reminder to him of everything that he is not doing. Everything that he knows when you guys came together and you spoke about these dreams and you spoke about all these things or all this time that you invested in the connection. It's a reminder of him of everything that he is giving up, and some of them cannot deal with it. That's what it is. So this is the biggest trigger right now for this masculine. He doesn't know how long it's going to be, and he's tired of either being asked or he's tired of worrying about it. So it's easier to just shut it out and say, I can't be with you. This isn't going to work for me, etc. Secure. He does not feel secure. He actually feels threatened. He doesn't feel like he has enough for himself. He doesn't feel like he is where he wants to be in the world. So there's also this major emphasis on I need more time. I need to find my just whatever that is. I need to find my thing. I need to make my mark on the world. I need to do a bunch of stuff. And I feel like I'm running out of time. I feel like even some of them could even be going through a little bit of a midlife right now where they have given their time and energy to another situation and they don't want to be in that situation ever again. It's a huge trigger for them. So it might be that they're coming off of a long-standing commitment or a relationship or an abusive situation. They might have, raised kids, just whatever the deal might be. And now they don't want to have to, put themselves in a situation where they're going to lose things or they're going to have more disappointment and heartache or more failure. So what's going on here is that they are working on their security, but they don't feel secure. So at this time, it does seem like a pipe dream to them, and it seems like something that they can't really give to you right now. So this is a huge trigger. So let's go ahead and go into my Dark Night of the Soul Tarot. So of course, the Dark Night of the Soul already came through, so let's see what this is about. Yeah, it's easier right now, you guys, for this masculine, 3 of Decays, 3 of Pentacles. Instead of facing you in the physical world, instead of coming together with you and working things out in the physical world, this masculine is choosing to submerge this, put it underwater, bury his feelings. That's the easier route right now. So a lot of you might not even be talking to or seeing this masculine, or it seems like he has no feelings anymore. It's not the case. It's just at this time, his trauma response towards you, feminine, is to bury it. It's to bury it. And unfortunately, it's like you're the sacrificial lamb. If he has to sacrifice anything, it's going to be you, feminine. And I know that sounds kind of crappy, but that's just how it goes. When you're hurting inside, you end up hurting other people. The Hanged Man is Pisces energy. It's connected to Neptune. Neptune, we are lost in illusions. We are lost in a freaking fantasy world. We don't know what's real. We don't know what's not. And so it's just easier to deal with confusing energy by sacrificing someone. If someone has to get hurt, I guess it's going to be you, feminine. So that's just what I'm getting here. Some of you might be feeling like your masculine is acting very cruel and cold and calculated towards you. And we're not making an excuse for this, but again, it's a trauma response. Yeah, we have the 2 of Cups, 2 of Sorrow, Fortress. Building a fortress around his heart. Yeah. So it's a song from Sting, I believe, Fortress Around Your Heart. But yeah, this 2 of Cups, there's a fortress that he's putting up around his heart. So there's a 2 of Cups energy here, which means that it's here. There is a 2 of Cups here. There is feelings here, but he's decided to put a fortress in between you and him. This is a wall. This is a deliberate move to keep you out, feminine, because he does not feel secure. And you threaten his either current narrative, you threaten his current reality, you threaten just his shadow, you irritate his shadows, you irritate his demons right now. And so it's easier to just push you out. Very interesting reading this week. So, all right, let's continue. We're not even going to do an extended. I did feel guided to come on today and just just take it all the way through without interrupting the energy. Just take it all the way through. So what is the divine masculine thinking and feeling late at night with his divine feminine? Obviously, there's a 2 of Cups here. Obviously, you're the only one that can truly satisfy him, feminine. But there's a lot of darkness and there's a lot of fear that he is pushing and submerging these feelings underwater, doesn't want to deal with it, doesn't want to feel it. So what's coming through? Let's go into my Divine Masculine Haunted Oracle. What did I just talk about? This masculine right now, he's battling his demons. This is Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. My spirit sleeping somewhere cold. We already know that. We already know that he's in that dark night of the soul, or needs to go into that dark night of the soul, is really even fighting that. And it makes it very difficult for him to feel anything when he is in that cold energy. Okay? Let's go ahead and go into my erotic activations deck and see if there's anything warm that's coming through all that coldness, if I can even talk. This is a once-in-a-lifetime feeling. Rare. It's very rare that this masculine actually feels the way that he does. So it's like late at night, I feel like when he is sleeping, he's definitely sleeping somewhere cold, meaning like he may be alone, or even if he is with someone else, it's like there's nothing going on there that is better than what he had with you, feminine. So if you're comparing yourself to someone else, I'm just getting here. Just stop. Don't do it to yourself. Don't haunt yourself with that kind of energy. It's pointless, actually, because this is once in a lifetime. This masculine has never felt this with anyone else. This is very rare that this masculine had even opened up his heart to you at one time, if he did. But that's one of the reasons why he's pushing it away, is because it's something that he's not familiar with. It's something that doesn't feel safe at this time. It just doesn't feel safe to him. So let's see what else. You've affected my life significantly. Influence. Yeah. You've definitely influenced this masculine, feminine. You've influenced him in a positive way, but you're also triggering him. And that triggering is creating a trauma response, which of course is challenging and negative. So that does make it difficult. What else? Halo, I'm addicted to your light. Wow. So we've got darkness and light. Halo, demon, devil, angel. Interesting. So feminine, you are the light, actually, in the masculine's life. But again, your light, and I got this earlier, irritates his demons. That's what's going on right now. So the best thing that you can possibly do, feminine, is when I say hold space, you don't want to be in a space with your masculine where you're just, obsessed on him, hating him, focusing every feeling that you have on him, spying on him, chasing him, stalking him, whatever. I'm not saying that you guys are doing that, but those are definitely things that you don't want to do, because all that's going to do is disempower you, and also it's going to affect your light space. The darkness is going to start creeping into your space, and you don't want that. You want to remain poised in your light. You want to remain poised in your empowerment, your position of, you've already influenced the masculine in a very positive way. Continue to do so. Be a way shower for this masculine. Lead the way with your light. It might be that you're even coming into your own life purpose and mission, that you're a light worker or a way shower for other people. Maybe you've battled your own darkness through this connection, but the masculine hasn't. And so now it's his turn. That's what I'm getting here. It's just his turn. You got to let him do it. You can't save him. You might want to, feminine, but you can't save him. He's also addicted to your light. This is also telling me here that this masculine might become very addicted to you, feminine, as in it's like he hates you, then he loves you. He hates you, then he loves you. And I don't mean that literally, but that's the energy. I'm addicted to you, I need you, but then I don't want you in my life. It's very black, white, hot, cold, into you, not into you. This behavior is not healthy. It's a toxic behavior, and it's something as a feminine that you need to be aware of. And sometimes being in your light, you need to say no. You need to have healthy boundaries. You don't need to engage with this masculine every single time he wants to engage with you, especially if he's not in the light. That is your job as a feminine, to kind of uphold that position of integrity and not let this masculine do everything he wants to do. You outshine them all, players. I'm telling you, there is something here that keeps coming through. We did see it before. So I'm going to read it to you again. No one can satisfy me like you can. You outshine them all. You're going to continue to outshine them all. Your light is very rare. Your energy, your influence on this masculine is different than anyone else's. Feminine, maybe you are the first person to have integrity and to have a position of authority of your own self and say no to this masculine. He might not be used to that. He might not like that. His demons don't like that. His demons do not like to be told the word no. So again, if you are being yourself and you're being true to yourself, and this is not working for your masculine, and you're not trying to change your life or contort yourself to please this masculine, good for you, feminine, because what you're doing is you are teaching not only the masculine, but you're also teaching other people how to treat you. And if they can't comply with that, then that's not going to work for you. And you would rather be alone for all of the right reasons rather than being with someone for all of the wrong reasons. That takes a lot of guts. That takes a lot of courage, especially in today's society. It's just very rare. A lot of people will, globber on to other things, and it's a united front. It's very rare that you have people that stand alone and say, you know what, I don't agree, or you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to follow the crowd. So I'm just seeing here that you, feminine, have some sort of just energy here. And I feel like maybe you were, I don't know, this is what's coming through, selected as this person for this masculine to get with the fucking program. And if he can't get with the program for you, he ain't going to get with the program with anybody. So, that whole thought he'll be better for someone else, don't even waste your time with that thought, please. Just don't. Walk away with your head held high. I feel like this masculine, if he can't get it together and get his cards right, I'm not saying he'll never be happy with anyone else but you. It's just not going to be this, whatever you're offering him, he's never going to find. He's never going to find. So there is a once in a lifetime rare opportunity for this masculine to experience something with you, feminine. But if he is not in the right space for it, there's nothing that you can really do to make him get there, except for to continue to just be yourself and do you, and allow him to level up with you. And if he cannot, continuing to refuse that lower vibrational energy is exactly how you're going to ascend in this life. So you guys did essentially choose one another for this ascension purpose. And if you want to continue to influence his life in this powerful way, then continue to, I feel like I want to say this to the feminine, play your cards right. When we play our cards right and we don't just, bluff, or we don't, go all in immediately, and we play our cards right, then there is going to be some sort of payoff. And I don't want to say the payoff is going to be masculine and feminine. It's a union. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's a fantasy. It just means that you're going to be so much happier because you did things this way, feminine. You're going to feel a lot better about you. You're going to learn so much about you moving forward. And I think that's a beautiful experience. I really do. All right, so let's go ahead and get one more here. I'm sorry I held myself back with you, constrained. That's where the masculine is at too. He knows he's constrained. He knows right now that he is holding himself back, and he is sorry for that. And I know that he is. Deep down, this masculine does feel shame and guilt, and he does feel bad that he is holding himself back. And I feel like the reason why is because maybe you guys had conversations in the beginning especially, and you guys were on the same page, and now suddenly you're not on the same page. What the hell is happening? And feminine, you might feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough. I'm not what he wants. It's none of those things. So try not to do those things to yourself. Try not to cut yourself down. This is not a you thing. This is a masculine thing. And of course, that doesn't mean that the feminine's perfect. If there's some things that you've screwed up on, or that you've said, or you cringed because you did this or did that, take this opportunity to correct those things. Take this opportunity to learn from those things, right? So this whole experience is for both of you, but you guys are going about things in a different way. So that's what we have with what the masculine is thinking about late at night. He's sleeping somewhere cold. He does crave the feminine in times of darkness, and he might even reach out to her. But what I'm getting here is that if he is reaching out to you, feminine, it's not because he's ready to give you everything that he knows you deserve. He is trying to make himself feel better. He essentially is kind of like needing a hit. And some of you guys might feel used. And so if this is a recurring theme, it's up to you, feminine, to correct this behavior. You got to do what you got to do. If that means you got to block out a number, or you got to not respond or take that call, or you're just honest and you say, hey, you know what, I really appreciate it if you don't reach out to me. If you're not ready to be with me in this way, then I'm sorry. I'm incapable of just being your friend. You have to be honest with yourself first, and then you can be honest with other people. And if other people don't like that, then you're not on the same wavelength, and you shouldn't be together right now anyways. So we have to take all of this into consideration. But this is what he's thinking. He's thinking how he's not going to be able to replace you. I'm going to tell you that right now. He cannot replace you, but he cannot be with you right now either. So he's very, very tortured and constrained in his thoughts and his feelings, and doesn't know what to do. So it's easier to just shut you out. And some masculines feel this way, but they are not reaching out to you, feminine. But they do feel it. They're having to constrain themselves from actually reaching out to you. That's what I'm seeing here. All right, what is the connective energy between the masculine and the feminine currently? So this is the connective energy. This just flows back and forth on a higher level. So this could be through your dreams. This could be through telepathy, your hearts, etc. This is what's flowing back and forth. Woo! Almost burned my card. Okay. This right here is my Divine Love Inspiration Counterpart Messages deck. All of our roads lead back to each other. I love that. That's a really beautiful thought, because it's true. You guys, I feel, have created a contract, and you have created this road that eventually leads back together. Does destiny guarantee things? Absolutely not, because of free will. We may be destined to be something. We might be destined to do something, be with someone, but that doesn't guarantee that will happen. But it is a part of our destiny to constantly being drawn to that. We're constantly drawn down or drawn to or pulled down that road. That is our destiny that's calling us, that tells us this is what you're destined to do. This is what's meant for you. So all of our roads lead back to each other. It's amazing. And you guys both feel that. So that's probably why you guys constantly feel the pull towards one another. Does that mean that you cannot be happy otherwise? No. It just means that you're going to probably always feel that pull, towards one another, because there's something destined about the connection. This is my cosmic contracts deck that ties that bind. I will help you to open your heart receptivity. Yeah. And right now I feel like that's what the masculine's biggest issue is that he feels like he needs to hold himself back. He feels very constrained. We know right now that he is holding himself back with you. He did it in the past and he's still doing it. It's problematic. So it's just difficult for him to open himself up and to just be 100% vulnerable at this particular time. It is difficult. But the connective energy is receptivity, means I will help you open your heart. You want to know how you will help the masculine open his heart, feminine? It's not about allowing him to treat you like shit and to do whatever he wants to do with zero consequences or accountability. That doesn't help people love you. That helps people disrespect you. That helps people mistreat you. So sometimes tough love is the way to people's hearts. Because if people know that they can't treat you a certain way and that they need to be honest with you and they want to have you in their lives, and they're going to work hard for that. That is true love. That is healthy love. So that's what I feel essentially, feminine, that you are doing. You are lovingly handling your masculine. That's what you're doing. If you are allowing your masculine to go back and forth between you and someone else, that is not loving energy. That's toxic energy. So we got to think about these things, whatever's going on here. All right, this is my Twin Flame Journey Tarot. We have the Eight of Swords, imprisonment. This Eight of Swords energy is about mental energy, and it's also about doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same exact result. That's why I just said here, if you guys have been locked into a position where you guys keep going around the same circles and nothing's changing, somebody's got to break the chains. And I feel, feminine, because you're the person that's watching this video, that you're that one that's going to break those chains that bind right now. You're the one that's going to really do the loving thing here. And sometimes the loving thing is that I'm not going to allow you to treat me or yourself or other people in this way. That's the loving thing to do. So, very interesting. Seven of Cups, it's very tempting, yes. It's very tempting to stay in that mindset of we are meant to be, so we can throw caution to the wind and we can do whatever we want because we're twin flames, we're this, we're that, it's destined, it's meant to be, but yet actually everything around is screaming, no, this is not the right time, or, if this was the right time, this person would actually be available, or this person would be loving towards me and be ready towards me. If someone is not ready for you, if somebody is not, on the same page with you, it's not meant to be right now. It's not meant to be. We can sit there all day long and put labels on things. It doesn't matter. It's not meant to be right now. Maybe it's meant to be later, but right now, especially if there's a lot of constraints, there's a lot of issues, there's a lot of challenges to be together, it's not meant to be. Not right now. So it might be tempting to stay stuck in that fantasy or to stay stuck in that thinking that somehow the impossible is going to happen in an impossible situation. We can get stuck there. And I've seen people, and even myself, have been stuck there for many, many, many years with that kind of thinking. And it sometimes can be an escape. It can be an escape for our own unhappiness. It can be an escape for just things that we don't want to deal with, things that we don't want to feel. And so Spirit is basically saying that if something is continuously us constraint, or something is continuously just never working out, and it just seems like, time and time and time just keeps going on and nothing is changing, the only thing that can change it is a move that we make ourselves. And sometimes the Seven of Cups, even though it's a beautiful thought, it's a beautiful energy, it has so much potential, but yet nothing's really happening. We do need to put our feet on the ground and say, you know what? I need to start living my life for me. I can't continue to live my life for this connection, every single day, or I can't continue to put all of my eggs into this because, what if I wake up one day and I'm 60 years old and I'm still waiting for this masculine to change? I'm just putting that out there as an example. You're only going to have yourself to blame at that point, feminine. You have to make sure that you live your life for you as well. So I feel like this week's reading is for feminines that might be stuck or feel imprisoned on the journey. So I'll probably label it that way, so that way people kind of have an opportunity to either go into the reading with the understanding that, there could be some issues with freeing the self. But this does not mean that, it's coming through that your masculine can't be the one for you, or that this connection isn't what you think it is. It's not actually indicating any of those things. But what it's indicating is that if we are stuck and we are unhappy and we keep doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same exact results, we are going to go insane. And it's up to us to correct that. Because us as human beings, we can turn any situation into a fucking nightmare. I don't care what it is. We can turn it into a nightmare with our expectations, with our traumas, with even our fantasies. We can turn any situation into a toxic one if we're not careful. So I feel like Spirit is just basically saying, let's be receptive to change. Let's be receptive to truth. Let's be receptive to other thoughts besides just magic, right? Let's be open to a couple of different things. Maybe some of our friends or our family are like, oh my God, what are you doing in this situation? Instead of blocking it out, be receptive to it, but also be receptive to what your higher self is telling you. I just feel like maybe there's a little bit more balance that Spirit is asking us to have. Be receptive to maybe opening up your heart to other things at this time, and not just solely focusing on this one road. Because if you are meant to be with someone, there ain't a damn thing that's going to stand in the way. There just isn't. What's meant to be is meant to be simply. And we can sit there and try to control it and fight it all day long. But all that's going to do is just create misery in our lives. So let's get one more tarot card here. We have the Two of Cups. If it's divine partnership and it's meant to be, you simply will end back up with this person. But like I said, it won't be with you not living your life and you not working on you and you not being the best version of yourself. And if it does happen, you're not going to be happy with what you end up with. So why not take this time to be all that you can be for yourself? So that way you can have that energy matched up with another person. So if you're masculine right now, feminine, is just not wanting this, that's not feeling it, not getting it right now, allow him to get there on his own. Because if he's not, even if you try to force this or somehow you guys do end up together, if he doesn't choose it or want it to, it's not going to be divine. It's going to be problematic. It's going to still have a lot of issues and problems. Let people come to their own conclusions and let people choose you. That's the thing, feminine. You deserve for this masculine to choose you. So if he is not choosing you, okay, allow him to do what he needs to do or work out what he needs to do so he will choose you. But remember, in the meantime, you are choosing you too. That's it. So this is the connective energy between the two of you. Roads lead back to each other. Allow this masculine to come to you, feminine. I'm not saying you guys are doing this, but for feminines out there that are waiting or obsessing or chasing, just let it go. Let it go for now. Let it go. All right, so let's go ahead and get some final messages here. Advice and signs as both of you move forward on your journey. Okay, so what does Spirit want us to know here? We're going to go into my Signs from Spirit Love Oracle. Key. We're being presented a key. That key energy is beautiful. It is that key that unlocks doors. Keys are wisdom. Keys are solutions to issues, solutions to problems. We open up new doors with keys, or just open up doors with keys. So it's a beautiful thing. So we are being given this key from Spirit. If you guys start seeing keys, that is also a sign. Keys are also connected to Goddess Hecate. She is a shadow goddess. She represents the dark feminine, and the dark feminine is not something to fear. It's a very empowered dark feminine. It's the shadow side of the feminine that puts up boundaries and is not afraid to walk her own path. She's not afraid to also face her shadows and her darkness. So that is beautiful. She's also the goddess of witchcraft. So if some of you guys are being guided right now to get more in touch with nature, to get more in touch with manifestation, working with herbs, natural things, energy, or maybe even mediumship, as in you're connecting with the other side, definitely that is a sign. We have 64. Try to see things from your twin flame's perspective to gain a better understanding. So remember, I kept saying that right now, the best thing that you can possibly do, feminine, is to allow your masculine to figure things out for his own. This is the way that I learn, and this is the way that I like to describe things. Can you imagine? And you know, when we don't want to, like sometimes when we can't step outside of ourselves, it is hard to imagine this. But can you imagine, like flip the scripts? Okay, let's just say you weren't feeling something, and you can't imagine that with your masculine because you are feeling so much for him. But let's take someone from your past, somebody that, you know, they were great, you know, there wasn't really anything about them, but there was something that was missing. You couldn't figure it out. You're just like, I just don't know. I just don't know how I feel. I'm just not ready. I'm just not sure that I want the same things as this person. I'm just not feeling it. Can you imagine if that person, and again, this is not to suggest that feminines are doing this, but if you are, can you imagine if this person continued to send you a message once a month, or you knew that they were on your social media, or they were liking everything, or they were constantly calling you or texting you, or they were talking to your family and friends? Wouldn't you just be like so just repelled? Sometimes it does take us to put ourselves into someone else's shoes and to see things from their perspective. I guarantee you, if you start doing that, you're going to stop doing whatever it is that you're doing. That's if you're doing something like that, feminine. Some of you guys are not doing that, so I'm not speaking to you. But 64, 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 means let's stop doing something. Let's start looking at things from people's perspectives. This is also something as well, okay? This might be triggering, but I'm going to say it anyways, okay? Can you imagine if someone that you worked with, let's just say, you worked with someone, because that would be somebody that you're around kind of all the time, but you're not like in a relationship. Somebody in your office, let's just say some guy, all right? You're a woman in the office, and you know, you're just doing your own thing. Let's just say you're married even, okay? I'm going to put myself in there, for instance. Let's just say I'm working and I'm married. I'm in a great relationship. I'm not looking to leave that relationship, but yet somebody has developed or created a story around me, and they have themselves convinced that I'm their twin flame. And I'm not that person's twin flame, you know? And maybe they spend a lot of time fantasizing about me. Maybe they spend a lot of time, you know, getting readings that, I don't know, maybe it's being confirmed. Maybe somebody's pulling their leg. I don't know. And they spend all this time and investing in this idea that I'm their twin flame, but I'm not their twin flame. And I'm not leaving my relationship. And I'm not even interested in this person. Sometimes, and what and the thing is, let's just say I feel this person's energy, and I'm just kind of like, it's like they always trying to find a way to be around me, or they're always trying to talk to me, and I can feel their vibration. I just know that something about it is off. So I feel uncomfortable. I feel repelled by this person. and I don't want anything to do with this person. So sometimes when we want things and other people don't want things, or other people are not even in that reality at all, because you can't control who's going to have a fantasy about you. You just can't control it. But sometimes we see things from other people's perspective. We go, ooh, I don't want to be that creep. I don't want to be that stalker. I don't want to be that person that makes another person feel uncomfortable. So if you guys are dealing with someone right now that is like, seems to be running away from you, you know, just like not wanting to like engage with you or talk to you, pull back. Okay. Pull back. And just kind of let the energy simmer down, and maybe work on grounding yourself with some of these fantasies or some of these things that you guys might be feeling. I'm not saying that you guys are doing this, but this is just an example of how we can look at what, can you imagine if you were in that position? Can you imagine if someone was doing something to you? It gives us an opportunity to kind of check in with ourselves and say, ooh, oh yeah, okay, that could be kind of creepy. Ooh, yeah, I'm stalking somebody's social media every day. I'm stalking my divine masculine and all of his friends, or any girl that's interacting with him. That is freaking psycho. That is freaking psycho. We're talking psych ward crap right there. We really need to get a hold of ourselves. So if some of you guys are going down that road, this isn't to shame you. It's just to kind of allow you to check in with yourself and say, if I heard someone else was doing this, or somebody was doing that with me, how would that make me feel? And then sometimes that's enough for us to snap out of this very just kind of repelling energy and behavior. It can really be helpful. So I believe that's why 64 is here, because it's number 10, which says it's done. Blue is also the throat chakra. This is how we're communicating. If you think somebody that you're having all these thoughts about, or these feelings, or, you know, like stalking, if that's what's happening, that they don't feel it on an energy level, you're wrong. They do. They might not know that you're doing that, but energy wise, there's something in the energy field between you and them that's repelling them to continue to want to run away and not talk to you. So that's why we got to clean up that energy on our side, you guys, if that's the situation. So I know this is a little in your face and tough love this week, but I feel like there could be some people out there that might need to just kind of take their temperature and say, hey, you know what? There could be some things that I need to clean up on my end, you know? So this is right here is my Connections of the Modern World Tarot. This is my Twin Flame Angel numbers, by the way. And let's just see what else Spirit wants us to know to close up the reading. Two of Cups. So we've gotten the Two of Cups 3 times in this reading. We got it in the shadows. Remember, it was the Fortress card. We just got it with the Divine Partnership, and now we're getting it again. This says connection, mutual, equals. I really like this message, because what it's saying is that when two people are on the same page, there is no chasing, there is no guessing, there is not all this mystery. You just know because someone is showing up. They're speaking to you. They're telling you. They're talking to you. They're available to connect with you and to date you and to be with you. So if these things are not happening, this is a key information. It's a key, a clue that we are not on the same page with this person, and that we need to pull out of whatever energy is keeping us from being happy or living our lives. So it might be a wait for better timing. And when I say wait, I'm saying that very lightly. Continue to do you. But we just need to stop wasting so much time on things that are not right for us at this time. If someone is mutually showing up with you and wanting to connect with you and they're ready for you, that's meant to be right now. And if that's not happening, what Spirit is saying, it's simply not meant to be right now. And for some of us, we might even get to a point where we realize it's not meant to be at all. And that can be very freeing, because some people can get locked in or caught up in some, fantasy thinking. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I've done this twice in my life. I did it with a romantic partner. I did it with a friend. Interesting that when I was in separation, both times, I created such a fantastical world in which it was the best thing ever. It was just the best thing ever. And, but what's also interesting is that there's someone close to me that was in a similar situation, and they ended up with the person that they had this like thought about, and they're in a very successful relationship. So I'm not trying to say just because we build a fantasy around someone that it can't be true, or that it can't come true. I'm not saying that. But just for me, for instance, those two situations were not right for me. But the way that I held it in my mind for so long, it did have something to teach me, and it did help me to gain a better understanding about myself. But I couldn't understand these things about myself unless I had attached something onto these people. And when both of these fantasies came crashing down, it was really helpful and liberating. It was painful. It definitely was painful, but it was very liberating for me, because I was like, oh my God, now I can truly connect with the people that are in my world. Because whoever sometimes we're hung up on, you guys, whether it's romantic or friendship or whatever, it really prevents us from being able to properly connect with the people that are in our lives, that want to show up for us, that want to be in our worlds right now. What about those people? Sometimes we're so focused on these other people where there's all these mysteries of how they feel, or there's no talking. We haven't spoken to them in years. There's all this fantastical energy surrounding this. And I think that sometimes it helps us to gain a better perspective about ourselves. And it helps us to see, you know what? Maybe I'm thinking about this because I'm unhappy with wherever I'm at right now. Why don't I try to put more energy and time into fixing my life and to maybe get out of unhappy situations and then see how I feel, right? If you guys are still feeling connected to someone, or and sometimes the best thing for us to do is to act on it, because the way that we build things up in our minds and then we act on it, and then all of a sudden the reality is, oh my gosh, like, there is no more fantasy because this person and I are not a match. They don't feel the same. Or it could be, it still isn't working, so there's still an issue or a problem. Okay, that's the reality. I guess I can let the fantasy go. You know what I mean? So sometimes it is good to kind of make a move in the 3D world and reality, to kind of break through the barrier of wishful thinking or fantasy thinking sometimes, because it can really help us to clear up those ideas. If someone wants to be with you and they feel the same way as you, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to say it, because sometimes people don't say things that they can't, or they're afraid. So that's not always the case. But again, this is about putting our time and energy into people that are ready right now. People that want to be in our worlds right now, people that want to give to us in an equal way that we're giving. And I just feel like Spirit is saying that's the key to happiness. The key to misery and the key to suffering is to continuing to open, or to try to open up locked doors. That's a key to misery. And we have the Empress, and we're ending the reading with the feminine. The feminine is you, the Empress. Fertility, Mother Nature, feminine, growth. Right? When someone wants to grow with you, they grow with you. They're available. They want the same things. They want to build a life with you. They don't want to play games with you. They don't want to have somebody else on the side. They're not still, hopped up on their ex, or they don't, have all these things. They're ready for you right now. So if some of you feminines are wanting to make yourselves available for someone that wants to be a part of your world, that wants to be, with you and grow with you, it might be the best thing that you can possibly do is see this masculine, because we can see that he may not be ready at this time. Let him go. Focus more on loving yourself, and then see where that leads you. That to me is the key to happiness. It's not about another person being the key to happiness. It is about the feminine. You are the key to your happiness. That's what Spirit is leaving us with today. Yeah. So that's what I have for you guys. I know, like I said, that this is a little bit of a kind of tough love reading this week, but I felt guided, and I felt like I just wanted to dive in and see what the story was. And I feel like this is coming after the full moon in Scorpio, where maybe a lot of you released a lot of your expectations, or released a lot of just like what's not working, and instead focusing on what is working. And what is always going to work, feminine, is you yourself and what you do in this life. That's an empowering message right there. So, not suggesting that this can't work, but what isn't working right now, put it down. And what is working is what you can do for yourself today, feminine. That is that final message. So I do hope that you guys were empowered by these messages this week. And obviously next week is a different reading. But that's what I have for you guys this week. I do hope that you found it to be helpful. And definitely, share your thoughts in the comment section down below and all that good stuff. All right, you guys, thanks again for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.